There are a significant number of threats to wireless and mobile devices that are out there. Malicious programs started to appear on mobile devices in 2004, kind of have been rapidly increasing, not only in number but in complexity ever since then. The first versions, kind of like we saw on the original ARPANET many years ago, the first viruses on mobile were meant to demonstrate that you could do this sort of stuff. And then it just kind of ramped up from there. I think the most prevalent tactic that you see on mobile devices now is through social engineering. Either click on this email, link through an instant message, or through some application. But it forces you to go, or says you should go download this application because it's really cool. It's like Flappy Birds or something like that. But as part of installing that application, now you've got all this unwanted stuff, through some Trojan program that's running in the background. And so the application itself is the most common attack vector for this. And so everybody who's got a mobile device knows how to install one. What they don't know is what is that app doing behind the scenes. And as a result of that, you've got a lot of the malware that we see on mobile devices coming in through the app stores. Mostly through third-party app stores, but occasionally you'll see one sneak in through the Apple Store or through Google Play. Primarily, a security concern for devices is loss or theft. The fact that it's so small, you leave your cell phone in a cab or something like that, or you leave your laptop lying around with data on it, it happens all the time and probably happens a lot more than security departments and companies really prefer. So the fact that you can remotely wipe or factory reset these devices offers a little protection, but not much, because the factory wipe or the reset has different, depending on your device manufacturer, has different effectiveness. Some devices, only the encryption keys get wiped, all the data stays there. Some devices do a complete wipe, but you can go and forensically recover the information that's on there if you have the device. So the various degrees of protection that provides. Password and PINs are not a silver bullet for protection. You have to do it because it'll keep the riffraff out from looking at your device. But if somebody's intent on getting in there, a password or anything like that will not prevent them from doing that. There are forensic devices which can read the SIM card and the internal storage on these devices, where if somebody really wants access to it, they've got your phone, they've got access to it. Mobile devices, believe it or not, have full-blown operating systems on there, and therefore have vulnerabilities in the operating system, just like you would have on your Windows or Mac laptop. A mobile operating system with vulnerabilities has to be patched. You can find this from, every, so often you might get an over-the-air update, or you might have to update it manually from your carrier, but that will give you an upgrade or an update to address security vulnerabilities or anything like that. There was a case of Droid Dream, which was taking advantage of vulnerabilities in the Android operating system itself to install malware. Both platforms, Apple and Android, have seen flaws that have been exposed, and at the very least, this is the case because every phone just about has some type of jailbreaking function on it. You can go out there and search for Apple iOS jailbreak. You can go out and search for Apple or Android ice cream sandwich jailbreak. You'll find all of this stuff, and what these jailbreaking applications are actually doing is taking advantage, exploiting flaws in the operating system to be able to circumvent the security in there. Some various attack vectors that you might see. Phishing, everybody knows this is sending an email requesting sensitive information or requesting an action. There's vishing or voice phishing. You see a lot of this during tax time with people calling about, get your refund now, just give me your social security number and your bank account information and your tax return, and I'll file your taxes for you and make sure you get your refund right now. All sorts of scams related to that. SMS phishing, you see, or smishing, you see a lot of this against banking applications where you'll get a text that says, this is your bank, we've detected fraudulent activity, please call this 800 number to verify. You call that 800 number and it turns into a vishing attack where somebody tries to talk you out of your personal information. So lots of different vectors for attacking mobile devices. Back-end security. So it's not just the device itself that's the problem. You also have all the carriers, the mobile carriers with data on their systems that are also vulnerable to attack. Your carrier may have data breaches. Your carrier may have compromised information or information compromised from it. So just recognize the fact that it's not just the device itself that's the problem. You also see attacks against the carrier as basically clearinghouses of information. If I want 6 million or 600 million records of personal information, credit card information, well, guess what? Pick any carrier out there and go after them. So it's not just a device issue. There is SMS fraud out there. This is where a user will get an SMS message that automatically or requires a click to subscribe them to premium SMS services. Again, $4.95 a month, $9.95 a month. I heard a colleague of mine had a $2,000 a month cell phone bill one month, and he tracked it down to a text message that one of his teenage kids had gotten, and they had clicked on it and basically subscribed him to all of these different services. Now, he was able to call the carrier and say, look, this is baloney, and the carrier was very nice and reversed all the fraudulent charges. But it does happen, and the carriers are not, sometimes they may not be as accommodating as that. Application threats. So let's look at the actual applications on the devices themselves. How can malware get in through the applications? Well, several ways. First off is manual installation. You can go out to any third-party marketplace, the actual app stores for Google or Android, or you can download directly from the publisher. And all of these are ways that you might get a malicious application. The Google and Apple stores do a great job of mitigating the risk of bad apps ending up in their stores. Both of them do code reviews. Both of them look for key signatures or key behaviors of applications. And it goes through some type of vetting process before it actually is allowed to be posted to the particular store. Another interesting way that malware might get on your phone is through automatic updates. The idea here that you've got a legitimate application that 1 month is great and works fine. The developer decides to go rogue and start putting malware in it. And now suddenly I accept an update to this, and now I've got malware on here because it came in with the legitimate application gone rogue. And there have been a couple instances where that's happened on the Google Marketplace. And then silently, this is where an app might exploit an operating system flaw, similar to what you might do for jailbreaking a phone, and you can get malware in that way. Repackaged apps. So you see a lot of this on third-party marketplaces, where you've got legitimate applications here in the marketplace for either Apple or Google. You've got an attacker who will grab that legitimate ad or legitimate app, package it with some type of malware, and then make it available on a third-party marketplace store or something like that as a enhanced version or bonus material or extra features or something like that. And so they make this app available to you through the third-party marketplace. The third-party marketplaces don't necessarily do any type of code reviews or sanity checks of the apps that are up there. So you're really taking your chance when you go to a third-party marketplace for that. But there are some legitimate ones like the Amazon App Store where you can be reasonably assured that things are okay. but really the only definitive source is going to be the direct stores from Google and Apple.